Good morning, everyone. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but today I thought that I have something to talk about, something that is important and special. So, when it comes to the topic of romantic love, most of us we end up believing that it is something that doesn't exist, it is filmy, it is cliche, and for the longest part of my life, I also believe that romantic love is not really a thing, that you don't fall in love with someone. And over the over the years in my life, I have been attracted to numerous people at numerous times, and maybe I gave it the name of love when it was not that. Maybe it was just infatuation, it was attraction, it was maybe even desperation. I don't know. There are all sorts of feelings that a human being can feel for another human being that are not necessarily love. But I guess the definition of love itself, it is difficult to agree on one single definition of love. If I have to define love, I would call it, I'm talking about romantic love. I'm not talking about the love that you feel for your brother, for your children, for your neighbors, for your friends, co-workers. I'm talking about the romantic love between a man and a woman. For me, I would say that it's a mixture of different ingredients. Obviously, there is attraction, physical attraction, there is mutual respect, there is admiration, there is trust, there is, of course, friendship, and naturally attachment. So, in order for a relationship to sustain, you have to have all these ingredients. And sometimes in the beginning, a relationship might feel very good, but after some ups and downs, you see that it's not really going anywhere, that you can't picture yourself with that person. And probably one of the biggest signs that this is true love is when you actually begin to look forward to being with that person for the rest of your life. I've met many people, I've dated a couple of people, but I when it came to projecting myself with that person forever, it felt really not natural. And when it comes to again commitment and marriage, I think most people, they are not against commitment, they are not afraid of commitment, but they are afraid of committing to the wrong person, to the person that is not right for them. And I think this is a very legitimate response because it is suffocating and scary, the idea of having to spend your life with someone for whom you don't feel that connection. And that connection, it's not something mechanical. That is why over the years, like when it comes to arranged marriage, I have mixed feelings. I don't believe that it's a totally bad thing, but at the same time, it depends again on what is your motivation for getting married. What is your reason for getting married? People have been getting married for all sorts of reasons over centuries ago that had nothing to do with attraction or affection or love. People got married for reasons of security, reasons of convenience, for social pressure, all kinds of reasons, religious reasons. But I, for my part, the reason why I'm still not married is because I believe that you have to get married to someone when you feel like it's a natural thing to do, when you feel like you genuinely want to, you look forward to being with that person and not for any other reason. So when you are in love, like it's all of a sudden all the other people in the world, no matter how good looking they are, because there is a point in life at times where you're just exploring, you have different romantic interests, you're just, as we say, having fun maybe. Some people are keeping their options open, especially when you're in your mid 20s, early 20s, or even 30s. You want to really know different people, and that's totally fine. But when you feel like you know that one person, they feel like they are enough for you, you don't want to continue going exploring, you don't want to, you really feel like you're ready, like you want to have only that one person as your romantic partner, and you start to project yourself having children with them, sharing day-to-day tasks with them, even the mundane boring tasks like buying bread or cleaning, or you know you feel like you're willing to go out of your way with that person. And even if if you're just sharing, like I said, boring things, like just sharing a cup of tea or listening them to talk, it makes your day. And something that is quite controversial when it comes to romantic love, especially in our Asian culture, where marriage is obviously related to religion. I've never been able to understand, like, how can you make a decision for your life partner based on the criteria of their religious background, their ethnicity, etc. You don't, your feelings don't develop based on your logic. For my own part, like, I have all of my, most of my close friends are non-Muslims, and I get on really nicely with them. I feel like we have so much to learn from each other because they are different from me, right? So I've always felt like more drawn to people who are different than me. And when it comes to my romantic partner as well, I think that the reason why our bond has sustained for so long is because we are different, and yet we have that mutual understanding and respect and affection and friendship. So it's really, it's not an easy choice to make, indeed, because for the longest part, people have really frowned upon that, interracial union, or however you would like to call it, interfaith unions and all of that. But I am still like, I think that marriage cannot be something mechanical, and love is far from being something mechanical. When two people, when you have that bond together, it just feels like it feels so right to be with that person, and not being with that person will feel so wrong. Because one thing that I believe, like, let's suppose you want to please everyone, you want to please society, you want to please your parents, you want to be perceived as that ideal Muslim, Hindu, Jew, whatever it is. You end up marrying someone whom you don't love. I think that's something that even God would not be happy with. If you are forcing yourself to marry someone you don't love out of convenience, you won't be ever happy with that person. You will be tempted to perhaps even cheat on them, and that's something that I never want to do. So I've never been able to understand why still we are living in a world where there are so many people who love each other and who are not together because of reasons of religion. And I don't see how someone who believes in another religion, or who doesn't believe in religion, or who shares a different kind of spiritual connection than you, like, how does it affect your relationship? I don't see. I think it can be a source of strength. Any relationship can work, no matter the age gap, no matter the ethnic background, no matter whatever gaps you might think there is. It can work as long as there is mutual understanding and affection and respect. And for me, I think that love is indeed one of the most important things in life. And it is probably the reason why we are here. God created us. We are not meant to spend our lives alone. And when it just flows naturally, that is the key word here. For me, love, friendship, it has to flow naturally. It's not based on logic. It's not like you're making a criteria and then, the person is a human being. He's not a robot, he's not an object. So either you feel a connection or you don't. You might present, let's say that you're considering arranged marriage, someone presents to you a person, a man or a woman, who ticks all the boxes. Like, I don't know what boxes people have, but sometimes it has to do with religion, with wealth, with job title, with skin color, even, no matter how wrong it sounds. These people have all sorts of criteria. So even if the person ticks all the boxes, the bottom line is that you might not feel a connection with them. You don't have anything to talk. You feel like you're bored in the company. You're just, you don't feel anything. Spending your life with someone for whom you don't feel anything, for me, like, that's unimaginable. And on the other hand, when you truly love someone, you don't have to even force yourself to want to commit. It just feels like the most natural thing to get married and to have a child with them. because it is real that most people nowadays, when you are, especially if you're in your 30s and you're considering being with that person now, seriously, officially, people who have kids like at 22 years old and people who have kids at 30 years old or who get married at 30 years old, obviously you will think a lot more because you've spent so long on your own single and now you're taking that leap. So it can feel very scary because obviously it's a totally different lifestyle awaiting you. But at the same time, with the right person, there is no pressure, there is no fear, there is no like obligation to do it. You just feel like you just feel like why not? Like this is the only next not logical step. So those are a few of my random thoughts I wanted to share. I'm not an expert in love, but I do have some very great tips, I believe, for attracting romance. Lately, I have been perhaps attracting a bit too when it comes to the law of attraction. Sometimes just because people are coming your way doesn't mean that you have to give them your attention. It's not that these people are bad, but you don't have to give your energy to everyone out there. You have the right to say no.